welcome to this very special episode of Coffee with the Claires.
Wow, it's wonderful to be here. Good to see you.
It is.
And good to see you all. Please say hello in the comments.
Hello, Stuart. Already.
Lovely. I love it when everybody says hello from Brisbane. Still half an hour to go.
Wow.
To what?
Ooh.
Yeah, really lovely for you to join us. We have a very special edition today, Claire, don't we?
We do. We are so excited to be here for the launch of our brand new OM system, OM-1 Mark II, and
the brilliant and amazing OM system 150-600mm lens. A lens that we've been using for a couple of months.
We have.
And we got away last month to, or not last month, this month.
This month.
To,
We're still in January.
To test it as well, didn't we? So they're the two products. Lots to talk about, Claire.
We've got a great day. So we have a wonderful show lined up. We have two very special guests, two of our ambassadors from the UK, and they're going to be sharing their experiences with the kit and showing us through some of their amazing images.
Yes.
But we also have a day full of live streams for you.
All day.
Multiple languages.
All languages, globally.
Yep.
We have our French speaking, German speaking.
Pop them up on the screen here. We've got Spanish.
Yep.
We've got David this evening, so 6 p.m. UK time.
Yep.
David will be doing a tech talk. And then if you're up in, the early hours of the morning, I'll be in bed, 1 a.m. UK time. We've got Mike and Miko. But everyone in the States, you'll be able to catch up with Mike later this evening.
You've got PJ from Poland, you've got Pernilla doing the Swedish one.
It's going to be great.
We have Tito doing the Spanish one, we have Thomas doing the Czech one, Thierry doing the French one, Neil's doing the German one. So you have all your technical experts, the global technical experts are about all day. So please make sure you tune into their YouTube, and it's more of a deep dive on those products, and you can ask questions in your own languages.
Absolutely.
And have a good chat with the TEs as well. So we're here, we get the good bit. We get to do the exciting, just the sort of light
chit chat.
Exactly. We're not going to deep dive. We're obviously going to cover some things.
Absolutely.
But the idea is to get into those tech sessions.
And you know what, Claire? You mentioned the technical experts. And if you haven't already seen it, go and check out the launch video, which is the technical run-through with the TEs from around the world. We got to spend a couple of days in Spain with them, and we'll pop the link in the chat, but it should also be in the description here as well. So give that a watch after the show. And it's really great, informative video.
Yeah, and it was also -4 in Spain, which I was...
It was, and you know what? We had loads of fun. You obviously see the very serious technical video, but of course, there was a lot
behind the scenes.
There was a lot of fun. So we had Gavin put together a little clip, which we're going to share with you now.
A little bit of fun.
I don't think they're going to let us put that in. But
yeah, I think that bit's going to be cut.
But it'll be fun for the bloopers.
Yeah.
See, they may not have let us put it in there, but we got it in our live stream.
We do enjoy, Gavin does such a great job. We do enjoy watching those behind the scenes videos. And it just goes to show that as a global company now, our global team works amazingly well together, and we're very proud of our team and what we achieve, aren't we?
Absolutely. So, Claire.
Yes.
What everyone is here to see and to talk about.
Well, where do you want to start?
Brand new products. So,
yes.
Should we start with the OM-1 Mark II and my favourite feature, GND?
Oh, so let's talk about GND.
Let's do it.
Graduated neutral density filter.
Yes.
Now, you will be aware with the OM-1 that, and other products that we have, live ND.
Brilliant feature.
which is an incredible feature. It saves you taking filters out with you, so you can travel more light, more mobile. We've now introduced graduated ND, which basically allows you to very easily select with your finger or the front dials on the screen a portion of the screen to be covered with a filter. So if you're out doing landscape, for instance, you've ever been there, even when you're not filtered, generally you can expose for the foreground and maybe even the midground, but what happens when you get to the sky, it tends to be really white, really bleached out, and you tend to have to do quite a lot in post. Obviously with the graduated ND, you can pop a little filter over a third or a quarter or top of the screen, or even just a little tenth of the screen, and that allows you to give you some depth in those in those skies. But also it can be for sunsets and sunrises, or maybe just the water. So there's lots of ways you can use it, and it is so good, but it's a massive jump again in our computational photography. You know, we have a huge section on that. Our OM system cameras are designed massively for the computational side, and this is just that extra step and the future, which is fantastic. Very exciting.
And if you're like me and you don't want to be carrying lots of kit with you, or if you're out doing something else, if I'm out with the 150-600 and another lens and I'm like, ooh, beautiful landscape or beautiful sunset, like you said, you don't have to be worrying about all those filters. You can just go in camera. And isn't it now accessible much easier as well? So
it's the live ND and the computational side is still in the menu. But as you said, we went to Spain, freezing cold, very slippery on those rocks. But, you know, when you're not carrying all this kit, you're enabled to get around better, but also you're not worrying about £100 filters smashing to the floor, you know. So, you know, it's lots of those things. And I do a lot of stuff, as you know, handheld. I mean, you know, I get into all sorts of weird and wonderful places without a tripod because I want to carry light. And it just enables our photography to take that extra step further. And it's really fun, really exciting, and enables you, as I said, to be lighter. And it's just a great step forward in the landscape photography side of our products. So
it really is. And you took some great images, so I'm excited to see what you come back with.
I shall do some instas later. I shall do my instas later. I've been too busy. So that's one. That's brand new.
So let's talk about some updates.
Yes, there's been lots of updates.
There have.
There have been some updates with the features. A couple of things, again, I don't want to give away too much, but we have added an extra step for a live ND. So we now go to 128.
We do.
Brilliant. The most impressive, again, for you wildlife and bird lovers, is the autofocus. That has been hugely improved. The AI subject detection, the autofocus on all of those have been massively improved, and we've added human subject detection as well. But it isn't just the added features. There's a bit more usability in the body. So, for instance, the subject AI detection, which was menu-based, is now able to be recalled from the super control panel. Oh my gosh, makes that so much easier.
Much better.
And little tiny things like the menu button on the OM-1 was over on the left, and that's more difficult to reach when you're shooting with a long lens or in vertical positions. You know, your hand has to come away from the grip. Now you can customize the delete button or the trash button to be the menu button. Oh, it's just brilliant. So usability for our end users just makes the whole camera amazing. But the AF, wow.
Yes, and we've spoken to a few of our bird and wildlife ambassadors already, and we spent some time with Peter in Spain, and they were just absolutely blown away by it and the accuracy.
Yeah, and any of the ambassadors or anybody that's had the camera before launch, the one thing they've all said was the AF is significantly improved, like massively improved. And with the OM-1, I sort of felt that we weren't able to go any further with that, but that's not the case at all. We have jumped a big step. This is a big evolution in the OM-1 series. Things like
combining it with the 150-600.
Yes. So when you think about image stabilization, so we've went from 7 stops with the OM-1.
We did,
We're now on a massive 8.5 from the body. And as you said, when you're starting to put super long reach lenses, you know, this lens basically with the 2x converter on is 2,400 mil. when you use image stabilization with longer lenses, it helps you keep that image stable because, you know, you do have reach and it is, there is a wobble there. And so as soon as you put the image stabilization on, grab. You know, it's incredible.
And I've seen images from our ambassadors and they are sharp. They are incredible.
Super sharp, got to use them in the hide. If you do follow me on Insta, I'll be putting out some owl pictures later.
Nice.
Absolutely incredible. So, yeah, there's lots of things. And as I said, it's one of those things where we don't want to do too much technical deep dive and we're going to let the technical experts do that.
Absolutely. So, shall we bring on
So we're going to bring on,
guests?
we're going to bring on guests that have been using the product, but actually using it in the field for their work, for their living. And we always feel that that gives you a really good way into it. So let's welcome
Espen Helland, everyone.
Espen Helland. There he is! I love that intro video. That intro video is so cool.
That was fun to see. Yeah, thank you for that intro. That's amazing. How are you?
How are you, Espen?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you guys?
We're good. Are you in Scotland or Norway at the moment?
I'm in Scotland. I came back about a week ago from Norway, where I went over in December, visited family, and then tried to go out as often as I could with the new OM-1 Mark II and the new lens.
I bet. So it's been quite exciting. Obviously, you had it before launch and being able to sort of keep it secret for a bit. Shall we, let's let your images talk for themselves and then we can have a chat as we go along. So we know, we sort of said to you, give us some images, but it's so difficult to choose so many images, right? So let's, the other thing I was going to say, if you've got any questions for Espen, put them in the chat now because Espen is here to answer any questions. Any questions about the images, any questions about the using of the lens or the using of the body. So yeah, give us a question. So Gav, why don't we go straight in? It's the first
we always
image.
Love Gavs.
Hey, okay, Espen, over to you.
Dipper.
Talk us. Well done.
Thank you.
I'm impressed. Talk us through this image.
So this is an image I took in Bergen. In Norway, they're actually called Fossekull, which means call of the waterfall. And I found this little dipper at the edge of the water. It was frozen all around. As you can see in the intro, it dives under the ice to actually go feed.
Wow.
So I found this little bird, and really nicely then having the 150-600 meant that I could lie a little bit further away, up on where it's a little bit less ice, zoom right in on it, 600mm, and photograph this bird. And really, really trying out the new AI subject detection as well, which was picking up the dipper right away, and I got to film some footage as well of it. So yeah, really nice experience.
Fantastic.
Beautiful. Okay, let's take a look at your second image. Oh, we're going to zoom in on that one, Gav. Okay, that's beautiful light. Look at the beads of light.
The detail is lovely on this.
Yeah, this is another one with the 150-600, and
nice.
I mean, it's not even at 600mm. That was just almost too far in because I really wanted that ring around it as well. I thought that kind of complemented it. So yeah, zoom it back a little bit with the 600, just to try and get a bit more detailed shot of a mallard because it's such a common bird. So you do have to try different things with these birds to make them stand out a little bit. But yeah, great detail on this and sharp, as you can see with the 150-600.
That's fantastic. And I love the reflection and the light and everything. And the detail on it is just phenomenal.
So let's have a quick, we've got a question. Sorry, Gav, we've got a question. The question is, Espen, is the bird autofocus better at finding birds through branches.
We were going to come to this.
I know,
we?
Mike, you jumped the gun, but
Mike,
let's do it
jumped
anyway.
the gun, but let's do
That's
it
a good
anyway.
segue to it. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, good segue. Tell us about that. What do you think, Espen?
Absolutely, yeah. As you'll see in another image here that I included, just to show that it was picking up. Basically, I had branches in front of this bird, a little red pole, and behind it. And I was actually out yesterday as well, doing a bit of filming and photographing, and I had branches in front of a cold hit. And I was able to then zoom in, and the AI bird detection would actually pick up the bird and the eye of the bird behind those branches. So there's a big improvement there.
Yeah.
And this here would usually fool the original OM-1. You know, it's messy, it's got loads of branches behind, a bit in front, and it just really just picked it up right away. And I've also noticed that I can also film more using autofocus, which is something I'm not used to. I usually always fall back to manual focus when I film, but there's been an improvement in that as well. So that allows me to film a little bit easier using autofocus.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, and this is such a beautiful image. I mean, you know, obviously it's very wintry and very snowy, but you're absolutely right. When you've got these scenes where it's quite bright, there's a lot of exposure, you know, it's
a lot of branches in
a
the
lot
way.
of branches, you know, sometimes movement that you don't see, you know, that could be a little bit of wind or a bit of breeze coming through. And I've shot some images the same where you can see there's a branch in front because there's a slight out of focusness across the bird, but actually it's gone straight past the twig and the branch and straight onto the face. So yeah, I think again, the one thing we found is that the massive improvement on the AF and on the subject detection. Yeah. And it's also a beautiful image.
It is, and it's
stunning.
A really great example, and you know, what a great question
yes,
to lead us on to that.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at your next image. Oh, we've got another question.
Oh, no, Jeff says, hi Espen, are these photos straight out of the camera or is there some processing?
I always process my images as I shoot in RAW, but I'm not one of these people who love to process an image, so I don't sit very long and do it. No. I'm pretty quick in and out, do some basic processing, a little bit of, I don't tend to dodge and burn that much, but I do a little bit of that. Like I'll darken using the filters, the graduated filters of that you can get in Lightroom, and that just to darken sometimes a little bit at the bottom and draw kind of the attention to the bird. But I don't tend to go overboard with post processing. So it's fairly similar to what's out of camera.
Yeah, and I think it is one of those things where what you see is what you get in the viewfinder, and if you can get it as near to what you want in camera, it means you spend a lot more time taking pictures than processing them, right?
Exactly.
And that's what I sort of believe, that you should be out there shooting more, taking more photographs, editing a tiny bit. I know some people love the editing side.
Yes, not me.
I struggle massively. So you'll notice a load of my stuff on Instagram is like JPEG, no stuff done, have no time. So, you know, the point about having that screen and having what you see is what you get is to try and get it as near as you want it in the viewfinder, right?
Absolutely. And it's about being out in nature, isn't it? And experiencing moments like this. This is lovely backlit shot.
Lovely colours. Look at that. Is that morning light, afternoon light?
That is afternoon light. I am lying down here. I found a little place just outside Bergen, where I'm from in Norway, and I could actually lie down all the way to the sea there.
Oh, lovely.
In amongst seaweed and some rocks and stuff. Nice. People were actually walking. There was a building next to it, and people were coming and going from work. So I got a few weird looks, but you gotta do that. So this was the evening light. There's the last bit of sun kind of going down on these hills behind here that you can't see. And these were eider ducks. And these were pretty far away. So again, I was using the 150-600 here. This one was quite far out. And this is, I don't think I've cropped this any whatsoever. This is pretty much the way I took it. And a little bit of editing. And I just, you know, using that subject detection, then again, this is birds in water has usually been a bit tricky, and especially further away ones. And this was also backlight, so that makes it especially tricky for subject detection to pick it up. But that was one of the areas that the new cameras really improved, and I could really tell in situations like this.
fantastic.
So combined with the longer reach
Yeah.
and the better AF and the sort of better subject detection, you're getting an all-round better opportunity to get those more distinct or more difficult images.
Yeah.
And you're still
Much
getting
easier.
nice sharp images, you know, beautiful color tones there. It's brilliant.
This is usually a manual focus for me. It
Yeah.
would have been in the past to get it sharp.
Okay,
That's good to know. Fantastic.
we love that. Okay, and your next image? Oh, Gav. Sorry, Gav. Right.
Gav's pushing a lot of buttons behind the scenes.
While Gav's doing what Gav's doing. Thanks, Gavin. I caught him on the hop there. There we go. Don't know what you were doing, Gav.
So we have a 3 set
Yes.
of images here, don't we, Espen?
Yes. So this was the last trip I had in Norway was my yearly visit now to Dovre to photograph the muskox. And an animal that is just looks prehistoric and amazing. So much fun to photograph, and especially in the snow.
Right.
But it is one you do have to keep your distance from. You know, you can't really go too close. They can be dangerous. You do have to approach slowly. But I could start photographing here from very far away. And this is, again, I was using the 150-600 here. And this is at 150. And I've done a sequence where I also tried my 1.4 teleconverter to show. So this is pretty much, it may have moved a little bit, but it's pretty much taken from the same distance of these 3 images, just so you can kind of see what you get.
Let's have a look at the next. Oh,
So
they are quite prehistoric.
We jumped
aren't
straight
they?
to the teleconverter here. So there's a frame filling one with the 1.4.
Oh, there's one before that. There you
That
go.
was the one before.
There
Yeah,
we go. Yeah.
that's a 600.
Can't get the producers these days.
So again, even the 600 here is enough to get quite close to that muskox, and getting the action here as well as it's moving a bit of slow. This is how they'll often feed like this. They'll kind of uncover a bit of snow to get to lichen beneath to feed on it.
Oh,
Nice.
I mean, they're really interesting creatures as well, aren't they?
They've got these little horns.
And also the other thing, photographing something so dark in such a white exposed area is actually can be really tricky, because you either bleach out everything else or you don't get the detail on the animal or whatever it is you're photographing. So I always find these subjects quite tricky to photograph, but just absolutely stunning. I mean, they just look incredible, don't they?
They are fantastic.
Wow.
And that
look
one
at that.
with the 1.4 converter, so
Right.
that gives you that extra bit again.
Yeah,
fantastic.
I mean, straight up close to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would agree. Like, usually I found it tricky to photograph in snow, but with new cameras like this, and you can get the highlight alerts, you get the instant feedback. I just push it as bright as I can until I start seeing, the little red on the screen, and you back off from there. And that means that you get the most detail in the fur of the animal, and and you're not overexposing anything else. So
It's just stunning.
yeah.
And you can still see all those, bits of snow on
Yeah.
it. It's fantastic detail. It's
Oh, we
brilliant.
absolutely love it. So yes, so the 150-600 obviously is amazing. Peter Farrelly says, did you have a chance to use the built-in grad filters?
I've had a little play with it, but I'm not really much of a landscape photographer, so I didn't want to give you one of my crappy images to show. But it is a great feature, and for me who's not primarily a landscape photographer, but I do love going walking in the hills and taking the occasional landscape image. I don't justify bringing filters with me. So for me, that feature is great, because then I can just smack that on and take the images as I'm out walking about.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this the other day, weren't we? Where we were saying that's exactly what it's great for as well. Is yes, fantastic for actual landscape photographers, but if you're like Espen, you're a wildlife photographer, but you're out and about, and you go, oh, that is beautiful. I want to, get that.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
mean,
great
when we were in
opportunity.
Spain, who had the most kit and who fell over?
Gavin.
Thank you. But he did have the
Sorry,
most
Gavin.
kit.
He
You had had all the
yeah.
kit. He had all the
We
because
were-
obviously Gavin was filming, so Gavin's got
carrying
bags and tripods and
Yeah.
all sorts. And it
Down he
is
went like a
much harder
ton of
to get
bricks.
around on slippery rocks, whereas I just have my boots and
Yeah.
me, and I'm not worrying
Nimble.
so much. And what about nimble? But you
Yeah, it's
know,
another
I'm not
thing.
having to worry about all that stuff. You know.
It's a thing I found at Dovre as well, because it's so cold. You have to bring a lot of extra gear with
Yeah.
you, and I have to bring
right.
snowshoes with me and all sorts of stuff. So having lighter weight gear is just perfect.
Huge
for those,
difference.
Yeah, any
it
amount
makes
of
it.
stuff you can take off, you want to try and take off. But also,
Absolutely.
you know, filters tend to be glass, so they're exposed at the front of the
Breakable.
camera,
Yeah.
you know, and you only have to sort of have cold hands and
Oh,
try.
I've seen countless people drop
100 quid a
filters.
go they
Yeah,
are, you know, they
countless
are
people.
very, very
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
So, you know, they are definitely need to be sort of cherished, and this is that opportunity. So, so overall, Espen, what's your experiences? You know, what's your overall feedback on camera and lens when you use them together?
I mean, it's a great camera, and for me, I'm most excited about the Bird AF. I mean, that's been a significant improvement. And the lens, I mean, the reach of the lens is pretty incredible. So it's a really good combo, and especially for, I would say, for a bird photographer, and then somebody who just likes to photograph nature in general, and having those other features means that it's easier to do that. You know, it's a great kind of walk around camera and take photos in nature, kind of document the journey as you go.
So we have another
This
duck
one's beautiful. Yeah.
on the screen. The colours and the reflections are absolutely
Yeah.
stunning. I assume this is a golden hour shot as well, is it?
Yeah, this is a morning image, getting
Oh.
that golden hour reflected in the water, but not on the duck. And this is another thing I want to brush on with that 150 to 600. You know, it helps with that bokeh out of focus background as well. You know, one of the factors that helps you achieve that is a longer focal length. So having 600 millimeter then meant, because here I think I was lying a little bit up from the water. I couldn't get all the way down. Usually I like to just get my face as close as I can to the water's edge, so my background is much further away to make you know, the bird really pop in the frame. But that was difficult to do here. So then, you know, it really helped having that, using that 600 then to blur out that background even more, because the background is directly behind kind of water.
Yeah, it does, and it really does pop. I mean,
It does.
you know, it's the thing about you know, ducks and things like that, that they're all beautiful, but also they're easy accessible. And you need to, when you want to make a striking image of a duck, like this is the way to do it, isn't it? The golden sun across the top, but the reflections in that icy water are absolutely stunning. So,
Do you know what we've not seen from Espen?
what have we seen?
Bird in flight.
Birds in flight, Espen. Where's
what's
your
going
birds
on?
in
Where's
flight?
your bird in flight?
I don't know.
Hey, there you go.
Here we go. See, it's like I knew.
This is,
Had to have a birds in flight shot.
Yeah.
Of course. I was pushing it this time here because I didn't really have that much light on this day. So I decided to go for a panning shot. So this is, I think this is 80th of a second shutter.
Oh, okay, that's very slow
yeah.
for a bit.
Very slow, yeah. And you can kind of see it in the wing movements there. You know, they're just blurred out. But, you know, I picked up, I was using obviously the new camera and the 150 to 600. And I was lying by the ice, and there was two kind of bits of the ice that were open. So every now and then the ducks would kind of fly from one side to the other. And I was just lying ready and just kind of aim, focus, fire as they fly up. So really handy then to be able to use the entire focus grid and just relying on the Bird AI to just pick it up and get that part. Because it's tricky enough getting panning shots sharp. So, you know, it's great for that. Just picking up the bird right away. So really
Brilliant.
Yeah, and I think it's the same thing. I did some short-eared owls in December, and every shot, I mean, I've got sequences of 20, 30 in a sequence, and every single one is shot.
Capturing as well.
I was pro-capturing. I was like, I mean, some of the birdies out of the screen might be at the bottom of the screen. You know, they're not central like most pro wildlife, but every single shot is sharp, even though the bird's in the left, the top right. You know, so I can
Just nails it,
absolutely guarantee that the shots are nailed with the AI. It's huge. So, have we got more images, Gavin?
No,
Okay.
that is it. It's a good one to finish on.
I love it.
And I love that you did it at 80th of a second.
Yeah, I know. It's normally
cool.
like way over 1,000. So wonderful. So we're really glad that you love it. And it's going to be, I'm sure, on your Insta channel and your YouTube channel.
Up already. I saw it this morning.
So if you want to go out and check out Espen's view on the camera and lens, head over to his YouTube channel, or you can just go and subscribe to his stuff anyway, because he's amazing and there's loads of brilliant things out there and lots of workshops and online workshops, and you're very busy, aren't you, Espen? So we appreciate that. And thank you for coming on. We really appreciate you coming on and showing everyone your first images.
Yeah,
and video,
thank you so much.
Of course.
Thank you so much for having me on. Always a fun time. So thank you.
We always love it. Well, we will see you at the end of the show, but thank you very much. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Okay.
Take care, Espen. See you soon.
Bye.
Wow, we love Espen.
I love Espen's images.
I know. We need to go to Norway.
Norway. Okay, next one.
Anybody who knows us knows we're around the world in Claire and Claire around the world.
Every live. We're like, where should we go next?
Finland.
Scotland as well, though.
Yari, Finland. Hello. Right.
Okay, so our next guest.
Yes.
He has a special place in my heart. He's Welsh.
Of course.
But he
now lives in Scotland.
So he's not far from Espen. We could have put them all together.
Well, I'm sure they'll be meeting up very... We can go.
Okay, let's go.
I'm sure you know who we're talking about. It's the lovely Geraint Radford. Hey, Geraint!
How are you doing?
Hello. How are you?
Pretty good, actually. Super excited. Like, you know, it feels like Christmas, doesn't it? When we get a new
we always say that.
It does.
Whenever we get a new product, and obviously we always have to keep it quiet for a bit, but we're always so excited.
Very excited.
And then we're always excited for you guys to tell us how you feel about it. And then we're excited again to bring it, to finally bring it to launch and see what everybody else thinks about it. So have you had fun using the body and...
Yeah, definitely. I've had such an amazing time using it. It's been really cold. So you'll notice a lot of my shots have been like kind of wintry looking.
I'm
so
very
I love
jealous
that
of all the snow. He keeps sending me selfies on Instagram in the snow.
In the
and
snow.
I'm like, stop it, Geraint, stop it.
Do you see the one when I looked like I had a hat on because it had snow all over my head?
I loved it.
I love
that. It was like a glimpse
it.
into my near future when everything goes white.
So obviously you've been in Scotland for what, over a month now, haven't you?
I've been up here since October now.
No.
Yeah. So, yes, blown by.
Flies.
Yeah. It really does. Yeah, I had my first white Christmas in a long time, so that was
I'm so jealous. Stop it.
We really feel we need an excuse to go see Espen and Geraint. Take Gav with us, do some video, I'm sure.
I mean, look, this is the perfect excuse, isn't it?
There we
Come
go.
on, try it out.
And you know what? You have taken some incredible images all through December. Geraint's been sending us content and images and video, and it's been phenomenal.
But what's also been nice is seeing you do some other things apart from macro, because obviously you are our macro man here in the UK. But we've been seeing, Claire and I have been secretly seeing other things as well. Your Game of Thrones crow, which I absolutely loved, in the snow on the... That you sent it to me on WhatsApp. Oh my gosh, there's some amazing images. So,
thank you.
Rather than teasing everybody,
let's
jump right in. Gavin, let's have a look at Geraint's first. You can't beat a robin.
I know, a winter Christmas robin. Like you can't beat them, can you? But do you know what makes this image slightly more unusual and special for me?
No, go on.
It's actually taken with my 90mm macro lens, and it's a focus stacked image also.
Wow.
Yeah.
The
You would
detail in the
would
feather.
not think of it, would you? You would not go,
No.
90 mil. And look, you can see Geraint in
I
the
can
eye.
see Geraint in the
That
eye.
snow. Yeah, that's
Wow.
But
awesome.
look at the feather detail. Look at
Yeah.
the detail. Look at the little black lashes around the
It's
eye.
incredible,
I mean,
isn't
that's
it?
absolutely incredible.
So Geraint, tell us how that happened. Talk to us about the
So
story
I was-
behind it.
So I was out and about, and this was meant to be like a macro day. I was aware that I was just basically addicted to shooting, like photographing birds and stuff. So I was like, right, let's go do some macro. And this is still technically macro, isn't it? So I sat down for a little rest, and I noticed this robin, and it literally ran straight up to me. We've been feeding them like around the area for a little while, so I'm hoping that it just recognized me. And but as it got closer and closer to me, I figured, well, I'm not going to get any of this in focus. So I figured, well, you know, I'll just try a focus stack. And
Amazing.
and incredibly, I managed to get 8 frames.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's
sharp, and it's
that 90 mil. It's incredibly sharp. I mean, all our pro lenses are just off the scale detail, aren't they?
Yeah.
And this is processed from JPEGs too, so it's like, you know, it's got some room for extra detail in the future and stuff. But most of the shots you see from me have been processed from the JPEGs also.
I mean, the detail is,
I love it.
Is just incredible. And as I said, I know, you know, people always like, oh, Micro Four Thirds, you know, you need the fuller frame sensor to do this and this. But tell me there's no detail in that. That is
detail
unbelievable.
Detail.
You know, it's just incredible. As I said.
Oh yeah,
around
that
the
stuff
eye.
is nonsense. Like, it's not like.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, you could print that as big as you like, and it's going to look amazing. And I think it's just our system is incredible. It's so fast. I mean, I got a long YouTube video later on, so I won't you know, tell you too much. But I shot 15 images. The camera, the bird moved halfway through, so the camera didn't blend them together. But I had enough in there to get this photo.
See, even that in itself is pretty amazing because, like you say, a 15 stack for a bird would be quite a miracle.
And if you'd have been on 8, then it would have stacked in.
Would have done it.
But exactly. But the fact that the stack failed because it moved, but you still got those images. I mean, that again is pretty awesome because normally any computational stuff, when it's halfway through, you don't get anything. So that's pretty cool. Imagine if it had been. We have a question for you, Geraint. Have you done any post sharpening on this robin?
No, but I shot in the natural color profile on my camera, and when I shoot. But I increased the sharpness in camera. So these are from the JPEGs. Okay. So the sharpness is +1 in camera.
Okay. Brilliant, thank you. Any more questions you've got for Geraint, please put them in the comments. We love to hear your questions, and we love to, you know, for you to pick apart these images and get our ambassadors.
Find out how we got them.
Yeah, let's get into Geraint's brain.
Yes. It must be bourbons and tea.
Would it? Bourbons and teas, that's all that's going on in there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at the next image.
Let's have a look at the next image, yes. See, now this is quite tricky, right?
This is a tricky...
This is snow, obviously, and looks like a blizzard, not just a little snowstorm. You know, when we were in Spain, we had lovely little round trickles of pretty snow coming. This looks like a blizzard. Tell us about the image.
So I really wanted to test out the 150-600 also, so I've had that for a little while. And I was just lying down in the snow, and I think I stayed there for hours, like 7 hours or something. I don't know how, like, flask biscuits next to me. And I got a sequence of images, and I was trying out the bird detection, so I had all the focus points open, and it just locked on, found it straight away.
Amazing.
And as I was photographing this blackbird, I think the wind picked up, or squirrel ran in the trees above me or something, and then a sheet of snow just fell in front of it. But what I found incredible was that the autofocus didn't readjust. It just stayed there, and it locked onto the eye. And, you know, at f6.3, it's 600. That's quite a shallow depth of field, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it just stayed there. So it just gave me a little bit more confidence, you know, in my newfound sort of...
He's a bird photographer now.
Yeah, and are you using the +2 or -2 CAF sensitivity, or are you just going for it?
I put it on -1, I think, just to like slow things down, because they're not moving that fast. So with my limited experience and knowledge, I just figured slow things down, because it's a very fast camera, isn't it? The autofocus is, when you dial it up, it's just sticky in it. So I thought, oh, I'll slow things down because the subjects aren't moving that much.
Yeah, exactly. And John Steiner asks, did you use Bird AI for the bird in the snow?
Oh, that Robin just now, yeah. And all the focus points were open. And when I ran the stack, the first image was just on the eye. So we found the eye first and then ran the stack. So I thought that was quite interesting to see.
Both bird images you were using Bird AI?
Every single bird image I use Bird AI because I'm really bad at autofocusing. So I just let the camera do it for me.
It just gets it. Like you said, it just sticks, the eye, everything. It just captures it like that. And it's a fantastic feature to have.
Yeah, and I absolutely will agree that, I mean, obviously, if you've not done sort of massive amounts of birds in flight and wildlife before, obviously the Bird AI is incredible to help you, but the improved AF is just, I mean, it really is. I've shot some stuff that I'll be putting up later, and it's unbelievable how much better it is. It's at least 15-20% better. You know, it's difficult to quantify in a number.
But you know it from using the two.
But just from using the two,
you know
and from talking to other ambassadors, you know, you just know that it's a huge jump up in the AF, and that's what you want ultimately. You want good AF, you want sharp images. You know, we can talk a lot about features and functions, but ultimately you want pin sharp, super sharp images, right?
And you've got that here. That is
reliability. Like I know we could talk about things like pixels and all these stuff all day long, but ultimately the end result is what matters. And I like having a camera system that's super reliable. And you know, I was laying down in the snow for hours with it, sub-zero temperatures, and it just it was fine.
Weather sealed,
I wasn't.
Brilliant.
I was going to say,
you're not weather sealed.
Yeah, that's the point, isn't it? You get sort of to the elements more than the camera does, you know.
But those little, you know, we got those new like rubberized grips and stuff, and those little things that was very helpful because I didn't want to take my gloves off. You know,
they all make a difference.
They do.
Yeah.
Yes, so as Geraint has just said, we've also added rubberized front and back dials, which when you're out in the cold means they don't expand and contract so much, so you get much more usability. You can use them with gloves, you can use them with freezing fingers, they're much more tactile to use. So that is another new feature of the OM-1 Mark II.
Fantastic.
Another usable feature that you don't think about, but all these things are clear. And R&D listen and look, and they want that usability. So, right, let's take another look. Let's take a look at another image.
Nice. Oh, yeah, this was the same day.
It's giving you side eye, that Robin.
He's a bird photographer.
I mean, you know, this is incredible. I suppose when you're in Scotland, you cannot just take macro. No. You got all this incredible nature around you.
The mushrooms are hiding under all this snow.
They're buried under there. Beautiful. Yeah, that's with the 150-600, and I stopped it down to F9 just because I wanted to make sure that I had a little bit of extra depth of field in there. But that's only a 60th of a second, that one.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the IBIS. It's noticeably different. You know,
I love that they're both doing slow shutter speeds. We have 80th, 60th.
I know.
That's the advantage. Isn't that the advantage of our system, though?
Is.
So,
100%.
we can. Where sometimes if you need to maintain, I think I might have been at the 1600 ISO or something, so I didn't really want to push it much higher. So, but you can compensate with that with keeping the shutter open slightly longer.
Right, exactly. And again, Bird AI.
Yeah.
Always.
I think this one though, I think I was brave and I actually used, the single focus point, the small one, because I just wanted to just make sure that, I was waiting for it to turn its head. So I just wanted to be there, kind of like ready for it, and I got it, and it's a nice little moment. That is, it's
good
a cute
stuff.
little bird.
I love it. Absolutely love it, and beautiful. Absolutely. Oh, look.
Backlit.
See, but look at the beautiful breath. How cold was this for the duck to give you breath?
It was pretty chilly. It was, and this was in mid-afternoon. It looks like early in the morning and stuff, but I don't do early ones. So I went out. I went down to the loft because I was wanted to test out the Grad ND. So I've got a couple of shots using that. But I saw this. There's a bunch of ducks swimming around. And I love backlight. I use it in all of my, not all, but most of my macro shots, But this is with the 300 f4, and it's immensely backlit, and it nailed the focus on the eye. I basically couldn't see very well through the viewfinder. It's such a high contrast scene. So I just left the camera do the work, and you can even see there's bits of like moisture in the air. It looks like starlight and stuff. It's I'm
Such
really happy with
detail.
how that shot came out. I'm really
Yeah.
pleased with that one.
I mean, you can see all the moisture in the air. It's
Yeah.
absolutely phenomenal. And you're absolutely right about shooting into the sun, because you do get zero detail, right? When you're looking through the viewfinder, everything's quite shadowed,
Yeah.
isn't it? And you think, oh, I'm going to have to pull that back in RAW, maybe bring the shadows back at a later date or whatever. But that is absolutely beautiful. We love it. And a simplistic thing like a duck is, again, another angle, another way to look at it.
Yeah.
And we absolutely love it. What's next? Let's have a look. What's next? I think Gavin has got some more images.
He's clicking. He's clicking away.
Clicking away.
Oh,
we go.
landscape.
Geraint,
Yeah.
who are
Wow,
you?
hang on.
Who are you?
Who
and what
are
have
you?
done with Geraint Radford?
I'm not Geraint. Nah, I've been cloned.
So obviously where you are, you'd be mad not to do landscape.
Yeah.
Talk us through this image.
So this is the thing. I mean, it's such a beautiful place that I don't have to work that hard, you know? And I often credit the macro subjects in the same way. I see myself as almost a documentary photographer, because you're making records of what's there, but at the same time, you try to maybe put some of your creative stuff into it at the same time. But you see that glow on the horizon there?
I can see it.
It's beautiful, isn't it? So I was out
It's
on...
incredible.
But this was after sunset, so this is half a second with my 8-25. This is handheld, and I used the built-in Grad ND filter so I could balance out the sky.
Yeah.
And that reflection is perfect because of it. It's super atmospheric, isn't it?
There was a lovely comment from Pete Dent. Whatever Geraint points his camera at, it always looks exceptional.
Oh, that
that's
is... your check's on the way, Pete. Thank you. That's incredibly kind to say. I really appreciate
Geraint,
that.
going back to this image, do you think if you hadn't had a graduated ND filter on, that the sky would have been flat and the water? Because obviously the water always gives you that incredible magnification of colour and reproduction of colour, but then the sky will then be left a little bit flat. So is that how and why you've managed to balance those two up?
Yeah, and if the grad filter wasn't in there, I probably wouldn't have even attempted this photograph. And that's the thing, as when these new features get introduced into your arsenal, then it's simpler to use, and you're just going to start using them. And I think that it's quite cool that the camera, it encourages me to push myself and grow. So this is why I bought into the OM system years ago, is because it had features in there that I could see myself growing into. And so we've got things like bird detect and filters built in now, and I can't help but use them.
Exactly. And things like, I mean, if you're going to start landscape, we're going to want to see some high res shots off of you.
Wait, you haven't...
Oh, we haven't done it yet.
No.
Next shot.
We're still on some GND,
shot.
I think.
This is still, this is a different day, but the same place. But I went like a week later, and the entire place was frozen solid.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think this is my 12 to 40 f2.8 Pro lens.
Yep.
But see how it almost looks like I have a polarizer filter on there also.
Yes.
It looks really nice. So this is processed from a RAW file. So I think the Grad ND maintains a RAW file, which is quite nice. And there we go.
It's like Edward New.
There you go, Edward. Yes, it does.
It looks like a desert, doesn't it? It looks like a desert, but that's
It's
ice
very
and
cool.
stones. And I just thought it was a pretty scene. It doesn't have. I'm not even meant to get award-winning landscape shots, but whilst I'm there, I'm going to take these photos.
Yeah.
And where have you? Did you like I did? Did you use the screen and your finger to bring it down exactly the line that you needed, or did you use the front?
It's tactile, isn't it? And what I love about it, you can change it at different angles and things. So I was out last night, so I've got some extra photos that you haven't seen yet. But I found a mushroom growing on another acorn or pine cone, and the sun was setting behind it, so I managed to dampen down the sky and then use my phone to light the mushroom. So that combination of things. I mean, it's early, isn't it? We've got to grow and figure out how best to use these things.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very
but
cool.
I'm sure
it's exciting.
Our end users will. I'm sure our end users will be coming up with some incredible ways and images to show these brand new features.
Yes.
And as I said, the GND, Live ND has been one of my things. I've been using it all year. I love it. Okay. Is that the shot we're talking about?
No, this is an in-camera focus stack. So
Okay.
yeah, I had to throw some macro in there, but also I want to, much in the same way as I'm rediscovering like new ways of shooting. So I think our camera system makes macro photography, which is inherently a challenge. It does make it a lot more accessible, and in-camera focus stacking, I think, is a real good entryway into discovering these things. So bracketing is the advanced way of doing things, but this is an in-camera focus stack. It's 15 images, and this hasn't been touched in any way. This is how it came out of the camera.
Nice.
So I just figured, well, maybe if someone's new to macro, then go give it a try.
I love the fact that a little shroom is on a cone. It's so cute, isn't it?
This one saved my biscuits. I went out and I needed some subjects, but it snowed like 6 inches and everything was covered. But this was just growing up on a stick. And I was like, thank you. I could use this.
Thank the gods. There it is. There it is.
Yeah, but that's differential of 1 at f8, 15 images. But I had it mounted to a tripod as well.
Okay.
Nice.
Because it was half of a second.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Brilliant. Love it. How
now
are
we
we doing?
talking about high res. So I want to take a look at a shot that you did in high res. If Gabs has got it, he's clicking some
I'm not sure which one it is.
It's a tree. There we go.
Oh,
yeah, that's a beautiful tree, isn't it?
Yeah. So let's talk about high res for a second. The previous files would have been 12-bit, and that gives you about just over sort of 4,000 tones when it comes to sort of reproduction, color reproduction, things like that. With the 14-bit, you're now getting over 16,000 tones. So that's 4 times as many. And what does that mean? It means that when you're taking high-res shots, the definition, edge-to-edge sharpness, all things like contrast, shadow control, everything is improved 4 times, So even though you've not got a lot of colour in this image, you will have so much more
such
detail.
Nice contrast and depth, doesn't it?
Exactly that. You will have more detail. And in fact, in a lot of ways, in an image like this, it shows more that the detail is improved. So how are you finding the high-res shot mode?
I love it. It's not something that I've done like a ton of. But again, I just think push it in there, and if it's new, then it catches my attention. But do you know what's astonishing about this is that I use tripod mode, but I was just holding the camera on the ground. So I think the extra stabilizer really helped there also, because usually as in high res mode, everything's got to be rock steady, tightened off and left, and I was cold, lying down in the snow, and I had my 8-25.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I shot a few in handheld and it just knocked it out the park. So I figured, well, why not try and push to get that 80 megapixel file? And and also there's a ton of dynamic range in there. I mean, that's a white cloudy sky. And it's essentially backlit. And you can see all the shadows in the bark and the detail and things like that. And I just think it's a very, very useful tool.
Yeah.
Very cool to have.
And when it comes to picking out the detail, like you say, there's not a lot of colour in the image, but there is a lot of detail. And like you said, the bark and things like that, you are starting to get, as I said, 14-bit processing or 14-bit tone in that just makes such a difference. And if you are a fan of high res and a fan of high or landscape, I mean, you don't have to use high res in landscape.
No,
did you know?
Use it in macro.
Macro. Have you ever tried high res in macro, Geraint?
Yes, I've done it. I don't know if you've got the shots in here actually, but if they're not in
sending
here,
Gab off looking.
they're in my other YouTube, so we can link that in later. But
exactly. You're going to be on YouTube. Yeah.
But I shot a 4-image focus bracket in high res mode.
Wow.
Yeah, manually. But that really it opened up another range of possibilities. The dynamic range and the level of detail is with the time and effort you have to put in to get it.
Right, exactly.
Well, there we go. So this is 5,000 pixels, this image.
Wow.
Yeah, so this has been... Gav, do you have the full size one also? Because this is being cropped in from
He's
full
thinking
res.
about it. He's gone looking.
Okay.
He's gone
You'll see it.
He's gone in the cupboard. He's in the cupboard opening
Put
the
the
door.
pressure on
Where's
now.
that,
On the light,
where's that
sorry.
image? Where is it?
He's got it. There.
there
That's
we
been
go.
cropped all the way from there. So
Yeah, wow.
I mean, and it cropped down to basically the native res that we
Yeah.
have. So
Yeah.
it's an astonishing
Lovely detail.
tool to have.
So
That's for my
overall,
60. Yeah.
overall, you've enjoyed using the camera and the lens, and
Yeah, and I'm excited. I'm excited about what the future holds also, and that's the other thing is like, yeah, we've used it, and I had a test sample essentially, but I'm very, very excited. Just get used to using all the new features that are in there, and when the insects wake up, how it's the extra creative options are going to be presented to us is going to be amazing.
And I think that, Olympus stroke OM system has always been a very, they're groundbreaking with features. Our R&D have always been so in the future. When you look 10 years ago, 11 years ago, the EM5, our very first Micro Four Thirds camera, it had things on there, focus stacking, that people are like, what's focus stacking? It's
incredible.
And only other manufacturers are now starting to catch up.
Exactly.
We are way ahead of our game. Our computational side is incredible. It's got loads of places to go. It's, it is amazing. It's a very exciting future. Very exciting.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad you're on board, Geraint. Glad you're on board.
Oh, no, you never get rid of me. Like, I love the system.
Well,
I love the system.
And now, if you're going to use high res for macro, you need to use focus stacking for landscape, right?
Ooh.
Exactly that. Yeah.
So why not?
That's his next challenge.
Boom!
Okay.
So it's everybody's challenge this year. I want everybody to use different features for different things. I want to mess things up a bit.
I like it.
Do you like that?
I'm here for it.
I want to mess things up a bit. Thank you for joining us, Geraint. You've been an absolute star.
No, it's been amazing. Always an honor. And thank you. It's been incredible. And I'm actually going to go out and take some extra photos now.
Jealous, very jealous.
Yeah,
I'm going to do some
cool,
emails.
We'll see you very soon.
Yeah, you've been amazing. Claire and I hope to visit you very soon. And hopefully we'll see you. Well, we're going to see you at TPS.
Yes.
I
think
see you in March.
TPS, I think, is our first time of seeing you. So look forward to that.
Yeah, and there's a workshop up here on the 24th of Feb. So look up for that as well.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah,
so get over to you to Geraint's YouTube video, YouTube
Social
channel
channels.
and his social channels, because there's lots of new stuff now for the new camera, new lens, and we appreciate you joining us. You're a star, as always.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Geraint.
See you soon.
Wonderful to
Bye,
see
everyone.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow. We've done
Great
the hour.
images.
That flew by.
Wow.
I know. It's one of those things where I've seen so many images in the last month or so from other European ambassadors as well.
Yeah.
We've got some incredible stuff from
They're fantastic. And what's
our
important to
Czech
remember,
ambassador.
like Geraint mentioned, is they've been shooting with, not full production samples. They've been getting some incredible images.
It's all IP samples or PP samples, which are not sellable objects, So
and
again,
the results were phenomenal.
brilliant.
And we're excited to see what more of our ambassadors are doing with it. Yeah, it's going to...
So the other thing we're going to say is there are global events.
There are.
Happening from this week right the way through
in
to
person.
March.
They can come and see Claire.
Come and see me.
In store.
Come and see
to
me.
get your hands on this camera.
Yes,
So
I'm at
head on
Chiswick.
over.
Yeah, Chiswick this weekend.
Nice.
So your first look will be down
You'll
at
see
Chiswick
Andy.
Cameras, and then
Excellent.
all over. Myself, David, and Craig will be all over the UK.
And the technical experts
all over the world.
So be sure to check out our events page. Go and find an event near you. Get your hands on the new kit. And also tune in for the rest of the day to our global live sessions. There's a whole host of lives happening on our YouTube page. And if you haven't checked out that Spain video, go and have it.
We had so much fun with doing that.
We did.
Thank you for joining us. As always, me and Claire really love to bring new launches to new products. We'll be back again next month with some fun, I'm sure.
We will,
We've got to sort out a schedule for this year.
Yeah.
Lovely to see you. It's New Year and everything's brilliant.
Yeah.
And thank you to the production team. Thank you to the OM team in the background
behind the scenes.
and everybody else. And we'll see you again very, very soon.
See you soon, everyone.
Take care.
Bye.